Immanuel Kant, one of the most influential figures in modern philosophy, proposed a moral philosophy centered around a single guiding principle: the categorical imperative. For Kant, this principle serves as the foundation for moral action, providing a universal and objective standard by which individuals can determine the rightness or wrongness of their conduct. At the heart of Kant's moral philosophy is the notion of autonomy, or the capacity for self-governance and rational decision-making. Unlike other moral theories that appeal to external authorities or consequences, Kantian ethics emphasizes the inherent dignity and worth of every rational being. According to Kant, moral principles derive their authority not from divine commandments or utilitarian calculations, but from the rational will of autonomous individuals. The categorical imperative, Kant's central ethical principle, takes the form of a universal law that applies to all rational beings. Kant articulates this principle in several formulations, each emphasizing the idea that moral duties are binding on all individuals regardless of their desires or circumstances. One of the most famous formulations of the categorical imperative is the principle of universalizability, which states that one should act only according to maxims that one could rationally will to be universal laws. In practical terms, this means that individuals must evaluate their actions according to whether they could consistently will them to become universal rules governing all moral agents. For example, lying would be morally impermissible according to Kant, because if everyone were to lie whenever it suited their interests, the institution of truth-telling would collapse, undermining the very possibility of communication and trust among individuals. Another formulation of the categorical imperative emphasizes the inherent dignity and worth of rational beings, asserting that individuals must always treat others as ends in themselves rather than as means to an end. This principle prohibits actions that involve using or exploiting others for one's own purposes, emphasizing the importance of respecting the moral autonomy and intrinsic value of every individual. Kant's moral philosophy also highlights the importance of moral duty and goodwill in guiding ethical behavior. According to Kant, the moral worth of an action depends not on its consequences, but on the motivation behind it. A morally good action is one performed out of a sense of duty and respect for the moral law, rather than out of self-interest or desire for personal gain. Thus, even if an action leads to negative consequences, it may still be morally praiseworthy if it is done out of a sense of duty and in accordance with the categorical imperative. In summary, Immanuel Kant's moral philosophy revolves around the principle of the categorical imperative, which provides a universal and objective standard for determining the rightness or wrongness of actions. Grounded in the idea of autonomy and the inherent worth of rational beings, Kantian ethics emphasizes the importance of moral duty, goodwill, and respect for the moral law in guiding ethical behavior. By adhering to the categorical imperative and treating others as ends in themselves, individuals can strive to lead a morally upright life in accordance with Kant's vision of moral perfection.